The television screen flickered, casting a cold blue glow across my tiny Brooklyn apartment. My heart stopped as Ethan Caldwell, my fiancé, looked into the camera on Late Night Live and said, "I'm in love with someone else." The world tilted, and I was falling, though my body stayed rooted to the couch. We'd been together for 3 years of stolen kisses in Central Park, late-night talks in our favorite diner, and promises whispered under starless city skies. Ethan, the rising indie rock star, and me, Jamie Torres, the quiet barista with dreams of writing novels. Our love felt like a secret melody, one only we could hear. But now, in front of millions, he'd rewritten our song. The host, all grins and slick charm, leaned forward. "Ethan, you're breaking hearts out there. Who's the lucky person?" My breath caught, waiting for a name that wasn't mine. Ethan's eyes, those hazel pools I drowned in countless times, flickered with something regret. Maybe. Before he said, "It's complicated, but they're everything." No name, no clarity, just a knife in my chest. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just turned off the TV, packed a single bag, and left our shared apartment. The city buzzed around Met-Axis honking, neon signs flickering, but I was a ghost, drifting through the noise. I checked into a cheap motel in Queens, the kind with peeling wallpaper and a buzzing vending machine outside. My phone lit up with Ethan's calls, texts, voicemails. "Jamie, where are you? Please, talk to me." I silenced it. What was there to say? He'd declared his heart belonged elsewhere, and I wasn't the type to beg. The next morning, I sat on the motel's lumpy bed, staring at my laptop. Social media was ablaze. Ethan Caldwell's love confession shocks fans. Twitter speculated wildly. Some said it was his co-star from a music video. Others a famous actress. No one mentioned me. Why would they? I was nobody, the invisible half of Ethan's world. We'd kept our engagement quiet, at his request. "The media will tear us apart," he'd said, and I'd agreed, foolishly thinking it was to protect us. Now I wondered if it was to protect his image. I closed my laptop and walked to a nearby cafe, hoping caffeine would steady my shaking hands. The barista, a girl with purple hair and a kind smile, slid my coffee over. "You okay, hon? You look like you've seen a ghost." I forced a smile. Something like that. I didn't tell her my fiancé had just shattered my heart on national television. Instead, I sipped my coffee and let the hum of the cafe drown out my thoughts. Days blurred into weeks. I stayed in the motel, avoiding Ethan's calls and the tabloid frenzy. I started writing again, pouring my pain into a novel about a boy who loved too fiercely and lost too much. It was raw, messy, but it kept me alive. Meanwhile, Ethan's star kept rising. His new single, "Somebody Else," topped the charts. Fans called it his best work, a soulful ballad about longing. I couldn't listen to it. The lyrics felt like a confession I wasn't meant to hear. One night, I got a text from my best friend, Lila. "Turn on Channel 7. Now." My stomach twisted, but I flicked on the motel's ancient TV. There was Ethan, live at Madison Square Garden, mid-concert. His hair was sweaty, his voice raw as he spoke to the crowd. "This next song is for someone I hurt, someone I love more than anything." My chest tightened. He strummed his guitar, and the opening chords of "Somebody Else" filled the arena. But then he stopped, The crowd went silent. "Jamie," he said, his voice breaking over the microphone. "I know you're out there. I'm so sorry. I love you." My name echoed through the arena, through the TV, through my soul. The crowd gasped, confused. I froze, coffee cup halfway to my lips. He was screaming my name on stage, in front of thousands, and I didn't know whether to run to him or run further away. That moment on TV became a viral sensation. "Who is Jamie?" Trended worldwide. Fans speculated. Paparazzi hunted. But I stayed hidden. My heart a battlefield of anger and longing. Lila showed up at the motel the next day, her curly hair bouncing as she stormed in. "Jamie, what the hell? Why aren't you answering him?" she demanded, hands on her hips. "He said he loved someone else." I snapped, pacing the cramped room. "On live TV. Lila, what am I supposed to do with that?" She sighed, softening. "Maybe he messed up. Maybe he's trying to fix it. You won't know unless you talk to him." I shook my head. "I can't. Not yet." The truth was, I didn't trust my heart to survive another blow. Ethan's world was too big, too bright, and I'd always felt like I was borrowing time in it. Growing up in a small town in Ohio, I'd never fit into quiet. Too queer. Too different. Ethan had been my safe harbor, the one who saw me. But now, I wasn't sure who he was anymore. Lila dragged me to a dive bar that night, insisting I needed to live a little. The place was packed. All neon lights and sticky floors. A guy named Marcus, with warm brown eyes and a shy smile, bought me a drink. He was a graphic designer, he said, and he'd just moved to New York. We talked for hours, and for the first time in weeks, I laughed. Felt like betrayal, but also like freedom. When he asked for my number, I hesitated, then gave it to him. Maybe I could move on. Maybe I could be someone else's somebody. But Ethan wouldn't let me go. His voicemails grew more desperate. "Jamie, I didn't mean it the way it came out. I was scared. Please, just meet me." I deleted them, but each one chipped away at my resolve. Then came the letter, slipped under my motel door. No return address. Just Ethan's messy handwriting. "Jamie, I'm drowning without you. I said something stupid on TV because I was trying to protect you from my world. I thought if I pushed you away, you'd be safe from the chaos. But I was wrong. You're my home. Meet me at our spot in Central Park. Saturday at sunset. I'll wait as long as it takes." I read it 100 times, my heart warring with my head. Our Spoda quiet bench near the Bow Bridge, where we'd carved our initials into the wood 2 years ago. The memory stung, sharp and sweet. I wanted to believe him, but trust was a fragile thing, and mine was in pieces. Saturday came, and I stood at my motel window, watching the city pulse below. The sunset painted the skyline gold, and I felt Ida pull, like gravity, toward Ethan. But I also felt the weight of my own worth. I wasn't just his shadow, his secret. I was Jamie Torres, with dreams and scars and a heart that deserved better than half-truths. I grabbed my jacket and headed to Central Park. Central Park was alive with autumn leaves crunching underfoot, the air crisp with promise. I walked toward the Bow Bridge, my heart pounding like a drum. Ethan was there, sitting on our bench, his guitar case beside him. He looked smaller than the rock star on stage, just a man in a worn jacket, staring at the water. When he saw me, his face lit up, but his eyes were heavy with guilt. "Jamie," he breathed, standing. "You came." I crossed my arms, keeping distance between us. "I almost didn't. You've got 5 minutes. Ethan. Explain." He ran a hand through his hair, a nervous habit I used to find endearing. "I screwed up," he said. "That night on Late Night Live. Panicked. My label's been pressuring me to play up this mysterious heartthrob image. They wanted a scandal, something to keep my name trending. I thought if I said something vague, it'd satisfy them without dragging you into the spotlight. So you said you loved someone else." My voice cracked, anger flaring. "Do you know what that did to me?" "I know," he said, stepping closer. "I know, and I hate myself for it. I thought I was protecting you. The media's brutal. Jamie. They tear into our life, our love. I didn't want that for you." I laughed, bitter. "You don't get to decide what I can handle. You made me feel like I wasn't enough." "You're everything," he said, his voice raw. "That song. Somebody Else. It's about you. Every word. I wrote it the night we fought about my tour schedule. When you said you felt like I was slipping away. I was trying to tell you I'd always choose you, but I messed it up." I wanted to believe him, but doubt gnawed at me. "Then why didn't you tell me? Why let me find out on TV?" He looked away, jaw tight. "Because I'm an idiot. Because I thought I could control the narrative. I didn't expect it to blow up like this. And when you left, God, Jamie, I've been a wreck." I studied him, the shadows under his eyes, the tremble in his hands. He was still Ethan, the boy who danced with me in our kitchen to no music, who'd read my half-finished stories and called them brilliant. But he was also Ethan Caldwell, the star whose world I'd never fully fit into. We sat on the bench, the carved initials beneath us like a ghost of happier times. He told me about the pressure his label demanding he stay single in public, the paparazzi hounding him, the fans who felt they owned him. "I thought I could handle it," he said. "But without you, it's all meaningless." I wanted to reach for him, to bridge the gap, but I held back. "I need time, Ethan. You broke something in me, and I don't know if it can be fixed." He nodded, eyes glistening. "I'll wait, as long as it takes." I left him there, the sunset fading to dusk. My heart was a tangle of love and hurt, but for the first time, I felt like I was choosing myself. Over the next week, I threw myself into my writing. The novel was taking Shoppe's story about two men navigating love in a world that tried to define them. It was my truth, raw and unfiltered. Marcus, the guy from the bar, texted me, and we met for coffee. He was kind, grounded, the opposite of Ethan's chaotic world. But every time he smiled, I saw Ethan's face. Lila noticed my distraction. "You're still in love with him," she said one night, sprawled on my motel bed. "Why are you fighting it?" "Because I'm scared," I admitted. "What if I go back and he hurts me again? What if I'm not enough for his world?" She grabbed my hand. "You're enough for you. That's what matters. If Ethan's worth it, he'll prove it." Her words stuck with me. I started noticing small things: Ethan's interviews where he dodged questions about his love life, his new songs that felt like letters to me. One night, I found a package outside my door, a vinyl record of somebody else, signed with a note. For Jamie, my home. I played the record, and the lyrics hit differently now. I'm chasing shadows, but you're my light. It was us. Messy and real. I cried for the first time since that night on TV. Not out of pain, but because I missed him. I missed us. Then came the call from an unknown number. I answered, expecting a telemarketer. But it was Ethan's manager, Claire. He's performing at the Beacon Theater tomorrow, she said. He wants you there. Front row. No pressure. Jamie. But he's a mess without you. I didn't sleep that night. My novel sat open on my laptop, the cursor blinking at a scene where the protagonist had to choose between safety and love. I knew what I had to do. The Beacon Theater hummed with anticipation. The air electric with fans chanting Ethan's name. I sat in the front row, my heart a drumbeat in my chest. The ticket had been waiting at the box office, along with a note in Ethan's handwriting. I'm singing for you tonight. The lights dimmed, and Ethan took the stage, his guitar slung low. He looked out at the crowd, but his eyes found mine, and for a moment, the world shrank to just us. He didn't smile, didn't wave, just held my gaze, like he was anchoring himself to me. He opened with a new song, one I hadn't heard. I broke the one heart that mattered. His voice was raw, vulnerable, each note a plea. The crowd swayed, captivated, but I felt like he was singing to me alone. When the song ended, he spoke into the microphone, his voice steady but thick with emotion. This is for Jamie, he said. The man who taught me what love means. I messed up, and I'll spend my life making it right if he'll let me. The crowd roared, some confused, some cheering. My throat tightened, tears burning my eyes. He played somebody else, but this time, it felt differentless, like a confession of loss and more like a promise. When he finished, he set down his guitar and walked to the edge of the stage. Crouching in front of me, the spotlight followed, bathing us in light. Jamie Torres, he said, his voice amplified for thousands but meant only for me. I love you. I'm sorry. Will you come up here? The crowd erupted, chanting my name now. I froze, my heart pounding. Lila, beside me, nudged me hard. Go, you idiot, she hissed, grinning. I climbed onto the stage, my legs shaking. Ethan took my hand, his touch warm and familiar. I don't deserve you, he whispered, away from the mic. But I'm asking for a chance. I looked into his eyes, seeing the boy I'd fallen for, not the star the world adored. You hurt me, I said, my voice barely audible. But I love you too. He pulled me into a hug, and the crowd lost it, their cheers shaking the theater. For the first time, I didn't care who saw us. This was our moment, messy and real. After the concert, we slipped out a side door, avoiding the paparazzi. We ended up at a 24-hour diner, the kind we used to haunt. Over greasy fries and milkshakes, we really talked. He told me about the pressure from his label, the fear of losing himself to fame. I told him about my novel, my doubts, my need to be seen as more than his shadow. I want us to be equals, I said, stirring my milkshake. No more secrets. No more secrets, he promised, his hand covering mine. I'm done hiding you. You're my partner, Jamie. in every way. We left the diner at dawn, walking hand in hand through the waking city. The world felt different, brighter. Somehow. But I knew it wouldn't be easy. Fame was a beast, and we'd have to fight to keep our love intact. The next day, Ethan posted a photo of us on Instagram sitting on our bench in Central Park. My head on his shoulder. The caption read, "My home. My heart. Jamie. Forever." The internet exploded. But I didn't care. For the first time, I felt seen. Months later, life was a whirlwind. Ethan's tour took us across the country, and I went with him, writing my novel in hotel rooms and tour buses. The media frenzy didn't stop. Headlines screamed about Ethan's mystery man, but we faced it together. My novel was picked up by a small publisher, and when I held the first draft, Ethan was the first to read it. "This is you," he said, tears in his eyes. "This is us." We still fought sometimes about his schedule, my insecurities, the world's demands. But we fought for each other, too. One night, in a quiet moment backstage, he pulled out a ring, the same one I'd left behind in our apartment. "Marry me, Jamie," he said. "For real this time." I said yes, and we planned a small wedding in upstate New York. Just us, Lila, and a few close friends. The world didn't need to know. This was ours. Looking back, I realized love wasn't the grand gestures, the stage confessions, the viral posts. It was the quiet moments. Ethan humming my favorite song, me reading him my latest chapter, our hands brushing as we walked through a city that no longer felt too big. We'd been broken, but we'd rebuilt something stronger. Love, I learned, was choosing each other, every day, through the noise and the silence. And as I stood beside Ethan, my husband, I knew we'd keep choosing, no matter what the world threw at us.